My name's Steve Shehadey with Producers Bar 20 Dairy Farms, and I'm the operations manager slash family member that owns the facility. My role is operations manager, which means I kind of oversee the farming operation and the dairy operation, but I have managers below me that handle the day-to-day operations as far as the cows and the farming go.
I am actually one of the owners and the managing partner, and Steve's boss. But we're more like partners the way we work.
Now, tell me a little bit about the facility that we're at today. When was it built, and how many cows you're milking?
This facility here is known as Larry A. Shehadey Dairy. It's my grandfather, and we milk about 6,500 cows twice a day. It was completed in 2006, so it's about 6 years old, and we have 2 rotary parlors that milk 80 cows each, and we raise all our heifers, no bull cows, but just the females, and from day one to once they start producing.
Tell me a little bit about where the milk goes from here and the tie-in with the Producer's Dairy label.
Okay, Producer's Dairy, another family-related company, is where all of our milk goes, and they sell milk throughout most of California, from Bakersfield up to the Oregon border, and we produce about 1/3 of their needs, but they have a transportation department that comes back and forth all day to the dairy picking up loads of milk. We milk directly into the tankers, and within a few hours that milk is being processed and could be on its way to the store within a few hours after that.
Explain the thought process you had going through building this facility and going direct tanker loading as opposed to holding it in tankers here on the dairy. Why did that make sense for this operation?
Well, it started with our other facility that was built in 1970. We went direct tanker load 40 years ago and never had any problems. We've always got one tanker that's being milked into and a backup tanker. And here we've got 3 for each rotary. So we've got plenty of backup, and our philosophy is one less thing to clean is probably a good thing. And it's worked well for us, and because of the timeline, we know that the tankers are here roughly every hour and a half, and so there's no real need to have that supply tank on the farm. Well, milk quality has always been the #1 focus of this area. That's our mission statement, #1 priority. And it started with my grandfather. I'll remember a saying that he told me years ago, is that people feed this milk to their babies, so it better be clean. Would you want your baby drinking something that wasn't good? And so we monitor every load of milk that comes out here. We take samples for milk quality, for somatics, and employee milker bonuses are based on the performance of good quality milk. Not how much milk, but the quality of the milk, because we don't want the consumer to feed something that's not good to their family.
The original thinking from my dad, or Steve's grandfather, was quality. Quality was always #1, and that still hasn't changed. That's the one thing that hasn't changed. Some of the things that have changed are the modern technology, the ways of tracking the cows that we couldn't do before, and just the ways of tracking the health of the cow, the ways we have of tracking the production and almost every aspect of it. We're just able to get better information now than what we ever could before.
You've made some recent investments here. Specifically, I think one of the titles that's been attached to your dairy is the largest activity monitoring system in North America. Tell me a little bit about some of the things that you are investing in here to improve efficiency and management.
Well, in today's business climate, whether you're in a dairy or other type of business, you got to be as efficient as possible. And with the number of cows we have, any tool that we can get to help us take better care of the cows is something we think worth investing in.
Name some of the technologies that you're using to improve efficiency and, like you said, try and make the most of what sometimes can be a small margin.
Okay, start out, as we mentioned earlier, there's the Deal All Pro system, which is an activity-based system, but it's a herd management system as well. And it uses an RFID tag in the cow's ear to read her and identify her as she gets onto the milking parlors each time she's milked. But there's also antennas placed in the free stall, so we'll get readings on an hourly basis that tracks her activity. But also we get milk weights. We use a DHI plus herd management system to record all the information on the cows, from when they were born, when they were bred, when they went to the hospital. We want to know, everything that we can to help us do a better job managing her. We use Easy Feed software for feeding. We monitor the feeders' results based on how well they did with what they're supposed to feed, and bonuses are tied to their performance. Again, pocket PCs with the RFID tags and wands to help with vet checks and IDing animals and inventories. And we'll continually look for what else is out there in the future to try to keep up with the technologies.
Steve's herd manager, Stan Marks, explains how the dairy uses activity monitors.
Well, the monitor or transponder that's on the individual cows, when we put in the system, we put them on all of the open cows. We didn't concentrate on pregnant cows. We did that as they calved. We continued to add them on. We've kind of came to the conclusion that removing them at the end of, or when the cows are dried off, is an issue we'd like to avoid. First calf heifers will have to have the collar adjusted as they grow and gain body condition through their first lactation. But I would like to keep them on all the cow's life, if we could.
And how do you use the data that you're receiving from those? Do you check that, or are there multiple people checking the data that comes from that?
They are, there's multiple people checking that. We have some reports that computer software automatically prints every day, and we print those reports by the corral or the pen that cows are in. And so the breeders come up and just pick the reports up off the printer. And the way the report is written, there are 1 and 2 and 3 star cows, or activity levels. It's just segregating the cows by activity level. And they for sure probably are going to breed all of the 3 stars. And then they can look at the 2 stars, look at the data, and look at the cow and decide how many more of them they may want to breed also. So in that respect, they look at the data and I look at it also. As the system is proven to me, I don't look at it as much as they look at it. And then I look at I just look at the fresh cow report, the cows that have been moved from the fresh pen to a regular milking string. I look at that report every day. We've just really started to use that like we intended it to be used.
Stan explains in more detail how the sort gates work with the dairy's management system.
This is a 3-way sort gate. This lane on this side is returned to the corral. The gate on the far side, they go out of the left side of that and return to the corral. And we have 2 straight lanes outside of the exiting the crowd gate, which are used for hospital cows or cows that are held up for lameness or some other reason. And then the center area is where we would sort cows to go to beef, to be sorted to another pen, or cows to go dry, or whatever other reason we might have. And we can sort in those directions at the same time.
Tell me how the activity monitoring system has specifically improved reproduction before it was put in as opposed to now.
It's probably increased our preg rate by about just 1% that I could say at this point in time. I think as part of it is training of people and how to use it. I think as we continue to move forward and they have more confidence in it, we will see still greater improvement.
What advice would you have for other dairy producers who may be considering activity monitoring systems? Something you've learned along the way that would be helpful for someone else to know if they were considering this type of a system?
Well, the key to making any of these electronic systems work is the ID. Like, if you don't have the cows properly ID'd, you don't have anything. You got data that you don't know what to associate it with. Our ID is done off from an RFID tag or an ISO ear tag. And once in a while you lose one of those. Or it's possible that one will go bad on you. You need to monitor that stuff on a daily basis. If you don't get the tag management part of it right, you'll get worse and worse and worse. So that's got to be, it's an absolute key to it. And we have a report that missed cow list we can look at any time, and we tend to concentrate on particular days of the week when we're not doing vet checks or something else, and that list of cows is given to one of the same people that's doing vet check work and that sort of thing to go out and find those cows and see what's wrong, if they lost their ear tag or whatever it might be. And we've had that report down to the point, we've never had zero, but we've had it to the point that had one cow on it. And that's a constant thing to make the system work. You've got to really concentrate on, it isn't difficult, it's very easy, but it doesn't continue without you being observant.
And what are some of the other technologies that have benefited the dairy? Steve talked a little about the Pocket PC and just some of the data management software that you're using.
Yes, we use Pocket PCs all the time. We have, I think, 8 of them that are used on a regular basis. All of our treatments in the hospital area are recorded with drug residues and that sort of thing, all pretty much recorded at cow side. When treatments are used, and then we automatically get withdrawals, and that sort of thing is always flagged on the cows. So we really don't have danger of having any of those kinds of problems. All the people that are breeding have a Pocket PC. They can look up all the records on any cow anytime, right at cow side. It's been very helpful. I see having components determined as the cow's milked as something that will happen in the future. We'll probably also be able to detect whether the cow's pregnant or not, or whether she's in heat or not. I'm sure those things are going to come into being. So it's going to take less people here to do the same kind of job. I see that as something that's coming. Robotic milking's probably not that far away. Less labor. I believe that will happen.
Steve says treating employees well has always been part of the family business.
We're only as good as the people below us, and we try to create a family atmosphere here and a team approach, and reward employees for doing their job properly. You know, we have incentive programs on a monthly basis for milkers and for calf department and for hospital department. And we want to reward the people that are making it happen, because without them, it doesn't matter how good your facility is without your people. Your people will make you or they'll break you.
What are your future plans for the dairy? Where do you see this dairy in the next 5 years?
Well, in the next 5 years, I'd like to continue to become more efficient, look at better ways of producing milk. My grandfather was always one to try to do a little better each day. And so if we can constantly try to get a little better each day, then 5 years from now, we'll still be around.